No, wait, stop, stop. No. Hi, everybody. This is Mary, your Kiki and Kibit's 90 Day Fiancé host, which are 90 days in 900 seconds. So, I'm covering season 5, episode 6, Burns and Betrayals, which actually I think should have been called Who the Fuck Are You? Because basically, one half of each couple could turn to each other and go, Who the fuck are you? And this episode, I think, was fucking crazy. So let's hop right into it. Caleb and Alina finally did the deed. Alina rode the disco stick, as she put in her words. She took a ride on Caleb's disco stick. And I think it was a little cringe. I know that my love during lockup partner Brianna is a Caleb. She's pro Caleb. She thinks that Caleb is handling this pretty well. I thought Caleb was pretty cringy when he was talking about the night with Alina and how he wasn't sure that, whether or not how much to throw her around. Then when he was talking about how her legs wouldn't bend, that was especially cringy for me. And when he was, the hand motions and the facial expressions, I don't know. Brianna thinks he's handling it well. I think he's cringy, but we could remain friends because we're adults, because we could agree to disagree, people, because this is only reality TV and it's not that serious. So, Caleb and Alina hooked up. Elisha's very proud of his girlfriend for riding that disco stick. But as Elijah pointed out, are you going to tell him your little secret? Because Alina still hasn't told him about her ex. Dun, dun, dun. So, next, it leads up to Kimberly and Soldier Boy. And on a serious note, we just want to express our condolences to Kim, whose mom passed away. In case you guys didn't hear, over the past week, Kim's mom passed away, and we just want to express our condolences to her. So, Kim is at Soldier Boy's video shoot. Today is the day of Soldier Boy's video shoot, and she's all pumped. She takes out a brand new Soldier Boy shirt out of her closet. I swear she has one in every color, every style. She takes one out of the closet. She's all ready. She's like, I could be one of his backup dancers. Something? I would pay to fucking see this. I would pay to see Kim to be one of his backup dancers. That would be a fucking sight to see. So the song is called Zara. And Zara is an American woman that basically broke Usman's heart. Usman was so in love with her, but she couldn't deal with all of his fans, so she broke up with him. So basically, Kimberly is his plan B, but she doesn't know this yet. I'm pretty sure she doesn't know about Zara. So they're at the shoot, and Kim was not wrong. It was a hot mess. His team did not have everything organized. It was a hot fucking mess. And not for nothing, boss lady Kim was not wrong. BLK was not wrong, and she stepped up for her man. And Usman, I think he was turned on by it. As a matter of fact, I know he was turned on by it because he said at the end that he saw Kimberly in a little different light. Yeah, he liked the fact that she stood up for him. We all know that Usman is just doing this for another season, and this is all just for his storyline. And he's just dragging poor Kimberly along for the ride. But let's just say, for the fuck of it, Usman liked the fact that Kimberly stood up for him. And, the one thing that pissed me off, though, was the fact that his team kept talking about, oh, well, she feels like she has the right to do this because she's old. No, her age has nothing to do with this. Fuck you, fuck off, do your job. It's called being competent. So I decided I'm going to call her BLK from now on because that's exactly what she is. boss lady Kim. She stands up what she thinks is right. And at the moment, she's standing up for her man because she's blinded with her rose colored glasses and she's in love right now. And hopefully soon she'll realize that he's an asshole and not even worth it. Moving on, Memphis and Hamza. Now, first of all, Memphis, I feel you, girl. With your stomach getting messed up, I can't even cross the state line into Jersey without my stomach being all fucked up. So I feel you. But that whole scene with the noises and Hamza sitting outside of the bathroom going, "Baby, are you okay? Baby, you done?" I mean, I think that was a little bit unnecessary, but it was kind of amusing. But with her grunting and everything, I didn't need to hear the grunting people. Okay. So then they have this bonding. She tells him about her childhood and her mother struggles with addictions and her father struggled with addiction and that her father was in jail for a very long time for dealing drugs and he was in jail until she was almost 30. And Hamza, got very emotional and they had a connection. Next scene, she finds out that he's a liar. He lied about his age, people. Instead of being 28, he's 26. So now instead of a 6-year age difference, we're talking about an 8-year age difference. And this totally triggered Memphis because she's like, if he's lied about this, what else is he lying about? I'm tired of being in relationships where people take advantage of my kind nature. And she has a total meltdown. Hamza's mother doesn't understand what's going on, thinks that she's overreacting. I think, that had to do with the communication barrier because if they spoke the same language, his mom would understand where she was coming from. But Memphis had a breakdown because she felt like that this was just another layer of lies. First, he lied about that his mother would be okay, that they sleep in the same room. Now she finds out that he lied about his age. So she wanted to confirm that he did have a career in heating and air conditioning. So she's, asking him basically to let me see your diploma, let me see your certificate, and the communication barrier. I'm telling you, she needed to pack that of the translator in those bags. So the communication barrier, so she's like, you know, I need your sister, bring your sister in here now. And she's getting, more and more angry by the minute. The sister comes in, it translates for them, and he shows her the papers, and she finally, figures out that he's not lying about having a certificate, and he does have a career path. And because she's like, if he doesn't have a career path, I'm not bringing him back to the States because it'll be like having another child. Totally true. So she's calming down a little bit, but she's the big problem with this. I believe the big problem with this relationship is the communication issue and the cultural issue, which are two huge problems. Because I think Hamza really didn't see the big deal about lying to her. He said, "Oh, I told her I was older because I wanted to seem more mature. I didn't think that she would talk to me if she thought I was younger." So he doesn't really get that this is a triggering thing to her. And they really can't communicate that because of the language barrier. Where there is a language barrier, people there, only you could only overcome it so much. That's what I truly believe. So moving on to a relationship that does not have a language barrier, but is a cluster in itself. And I personally like this relationship and I'm rooting for it because I think they're meant to be for each other. Brianna and I have a saying, there is someone out there for everyone. And I believe Gino and Jasmine are meant to be, and they are each other's person. I just think that Gino is not aggressive enough. Gino is too wishy-washy. He lets Jasmine walk all over him, and Jasmine is way too aggressive. She needs to take it down a notch, and this is from someone that's a Jasmine fan. I like Jasmine. She needs to take it down a notch. Who gives a shit about what color the walls are now, girl? Once you move in, then you do the redecorating. Let him stare at the walls now. Who gives a fuck? Once you move in, then you redecorate everything and you make it yours. Okay? Pick your battles. That's another saying. Pick your battles. Because if you fight over every little thing, after a while, you're gonna sound like wah 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 wah. So pick your battles, and that's another thing that Jasmine has to learn. So they are at the gym, and basically she tells him that she decided to buy herself a Christmas present since he was decided to give her a toothbrush, and she booked this expensive trip for I believe it was 4 days to like this Panamanian island getaway for $2,500. Now, this cheap fuck would have spent, well, let me not say cheap fuck, but he would have spent $500 on clothes. So by her booking this $2,500 trip, she knew exactly what she was doing. So she booked this $2,500 trip. And he's like, I can't believe she booked this trip, without consulting me about the price. But if it makes her happy, then it makes me happy. And, she's happy. She's all giggly. He's staring at her ass while she's on the Stairmaster. And then, like 1 second to another, they get into an argument about the color on the walls. She doesn't like baby blue and red or some shit. And they're arguing about the color on the walls. And like I just said, Jasmine, wait until you move in and then you can redecorate the whole fucking house. She flips the fuck out, has a total temper tantrum that was unnecessary, and take it from this chick who has total unnecessary temper tantrums. That temper tantrum was totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary temper tantrum. Storms the fuck out sobbing. And Gino is just like, what the fuck just happened here? 1 minute ago, I was staring at her ass on the Stairmaster, and now she's out sobbing. So then the next scene, they're at the Airbnb, and she's like, fuck you, fuck this relationship. You go find another chick on your website and leave me the fuck alone. And then they decide that Gino's exes don't exist anymore. And now she's happy again. I'm like, whoa, okay. And then Jasmine tells him, oh, by the way, I'm taking birth control because I decided that it's not a good idea that I get pregnant now, which is a great idea on her part because I think Gino's fucking crazy that he was going down to Peru to ask her to marry him and to fucking knock her up. Like, come on. But, that's smart on her. But she's just like, oh, your exes don't exist. She has a fucking temper tantrum. And oh, by the way, I'm taking birth control. And I know, you wanted to have babies with me, this trip you wanted to get me pregnant, but I'm taking birth control. Are you mad at me? Don't be mad at me. And I don't know. Jasmine, girl, I love you. You know I love you, Jasmine. But you need to take it down a notch. Please take it down a notch. So, anyway, moving on to our newest couple, and using couple in air quotes, Ben and Mahogany. And let me tell you, this dude is definitely going through a midlife crisis. He's 52 and she is 24. Because I swear that this is another dude. He is getting catfished. Okay, I'm telling you right now. If Mahogany is real, I will fall off this motherfucking chair. I swear Mahogany is not fucking real. Mahogany is probably some dude in Africa or India. Fucking okay. Mahogany is Michael Jones. That's all I gotta fucking say. Mahogany is fucking Michael Jones. Okay, that's it. So anyway, Ben grew up part of a fringe Baptist church. Okay. And it was basically a religious cult. They weren't allowed to watch TV. They weren't allowed to have friends that were outside of the church. So basically he married the children's I don't know, the children's school director or whatever. And they were married for 24 years. They have 4 children. Their marriage was not working out, but if they divorced, they were gonna burn in hell and whatever. So they left 7 years ago. They left their religion. They sought therapy, didn't work out. They got divorced. So Ben is a fitness model because he has a 6 pack and whatever. And a coworker said to him, "Hey, do you want to make $400 a day or yeah, a day?" And he's like, "Sure, why not?" And he's a fitness model, so whatever. Okay, he's never video chatted, and he spoke on the phone with her twice. That video that Mahogany sent to him is sketchy. I agree with the friends. His daughter, I'm naming the MVP of this episode just simply for her facial expressions. She was fucking looking at her father like, "Are you fucking stupid?" Okay. She was like, "That is a totally fake picture." That was hysterical. When her father was sitting there telling her, the whole story about Mahogany, her facial expressions were fucking priceless. Okay. Secondly, he's 52. He has a 20-year-old daughter, and he is running after a 20-year-old, 24-year-old, excuse me, that he says Jesus put in his path. Creepy. Now, I know he's being catfished. He should call Yolanda for advice. As a matter of fact, if Mahogany is not Michael Jones, Mahogany's Williams. Okay? So, anyway, he has given her a loan. He's going to Peru to meet the love of his life. And his children, his friends, think he's fucking nuts. But one thing I got to give him, at least he's trying to learn Spanish before he goes. So, anyway, moving on to the last couple. Basically, who the fuck are you? Mike and Jimena. So, instead of getting birth control or not sleeping with bad men choices, she decided to get her tubes cut and burned. Okay, because that was basically her rationalization behind it. She was saying that, the contractions were really bad. She had really bad times during her pregnancies. And then she was saying that basically the men that she chose to have children with were bad choices, and that she was just going to she was afraid that she was going to keep having children with bad men choices, so she decided to get her tubes cut and burned. Well, instead of doing that, how about birth control or not sleeping with bad men choices? I don't know, Jimena. So Mike is like, "What the fuck? You know that I wanted to have children. So why didn't you tell me about this?" So after a little discussion, Mike agrees that they're going to raise Harold and Juan as their own. They kiss, they hug, because we all know Mike at this point is so whipped that Jimena could just bat her eyelashes at him and he will agree to whatever she says. So he plans this romantic trip to Salento for a couple of days. So the two of them gonna hang out alone and get to know each other because, like he says, her father is downstairs and one of her sons are always trying to climb into bed. So it's kind of hard to get alone time together. So they go to this beautiful town. It's colorful. They have all this traditional Colombian food, and they go to this beautiful resort. So they get in the hot tub, and he's like, "Okay, this is time for us to get to know each other, for you to tell me everything." So he's like, "What happened to Harold and Juan's fathers?" And she's like, "I never lived with them. We never were in a relationship. I got pregnant, and that was it." So then she tells him that, she has been with aggressive men in her past, And she tells him about her tattoo artist slash hitman ex-boyfriend that had her locked up, threatened to kill her, and the whole 9 yards. And Mike is looking at her like, "Excuse me, who the fuck are you?" So Mike is like, "Is there anything else I need to know about you?" Which I bet you there is a whole lot more that he's gonna find out about this girl. This girl, she has a bunch of skeletons in her closet that are gonna come out and hit poor Mikey in the head, and he's gonna get a major concussion. And I'm sorry, Mike. We're rooting for you. We are rooting for you. And that's how I'm gonna end my podcast. We're rooting for you. Everyone have a good night. Please like, subscribe, and share. Good night, everyone.